Okay, guys, I'm talking about everything that I need and you'll probably need if you're going to sandblast your car. Okay, let's get into it. So, I have everything laid out on my table that I'm going to need to pretty much deal with the car after. It is a lot of work once the car is blasted. The blasting process, it's fun to watch, but there's a ton of work to do after the fact. I've seen it, but I've not done the work after. And to be honest, I didn't appreciate how much work it is after. You're sanding inside and outside the car. The blast aggregate is not clean. So you have cleanup to do, but you have to do it quickly. And if you're by yourself, like I am, that could be a chore. So I got to clean the inside and outside. So I need something to slow down the process of flash rusting. Um, you can you can do one of two things. You can either drench the car in something after, like a phosphate, like a zinc phosphate coating, or you can have the blaster put a material in that'll act as a rust inhibitor when if he's dustless blasting. But I prefer to have most of the car dry blasted and minimize how much wet blasting he does, because it sounds nice, but and it doesn't hurt the metal as much, but it's still annoying to clean up, and they usually don't clean up afterwards. So you could be left with clumps of aggregate all in the car and outside the car and on the floor wherever they're doing the car. So I'm probably going to elect to have more of it sandblasted at maybe a lower pressure if possible. All right, or I'm going to try and have him stay away because he's not putting an inhibitor in. I don't think he has any. So, but I have a solution to that, which I'll get to. Let's talk about how I'm prepping. What I'm doing is I'm getting everything in order that I need to have in order to just work and not worry about the setup. Okay. Now, I can't mix my paints because they have a 3 hour time before they're useless per the TDS. But let's talk about what's not on this table. Let's talk about that first. I want to go through the process with you and what I'm going to do so you can develop your own method to doing it, right? I have my 3-stage desiccant kit on the floor. It has silica in it that changes color. So when the silica is red, I believe, or pink, it's saturated. It means you got to change it out. You need a good you need good dry air. So I emptied my tank, which is why it's wet. I emptied my tank, refilled it, or sorry, I'll refill it tomorrow. And then I also heated my desiccant to re-energize it. Okay. Now, for moving when I get the car back, I'm going to be wearing gloves. You can't touch the car with your hands. Can't touch it. See, look at my hand. It's dirty and it's got oils in it. So don't touch the car. And compressed air is nice to help blow all the aggregate, but I've sandblasted before. Compressed air actually sucks for blowing this stuff off, right? And I'm in South Carolina. It's hot and humid here. So I'm not I'm not really feeling the whole time that it's going to take me to do this. So what I'm going to use is I got a leaf blower, right? This is a Toro. It's got 750 CFM or something around there of blowing power. It will blow all of the dust and it will do it with ambient air instead of compressed air, which may come out dirtier and with more fluid, right? So that's important. After we blow out all the sand, from inside the car because it's going to be probably where the quarter panel and the drop panel connect, in some of the bolt holes on the floor. You get my point? There's going to be dust. So you got to get rid of it, preferably outside of where you're going to paint. All right. After that, I'm going to use this product. It's called After Blast by Eastwood. Now, it is a zinc phosphate coating, okay? But what it doesn't say here, which would kind of help their case, is that it also etches the metal. It etches the metal so that you don't have to abrade it by hand with like an 80 grit, right? You don't have to do that. It is ready to paint once you clean the metal after this step. Now this is how you would protect raw steel. So technically, after I apply this, I don't really need to worry so much about flash rust. So if you're looking at this product, just understand that this product is designed to stop flash rust. It is not designed to convert rust, right, into that black oxide. It's not designed to do that. There's another product they have which is called Fast Etch, which etches the metal to get it ready for paint and will also convert rust. So you would need that product if you do get flash rust. Next up on the agenda, the epoxies. You will never hear me advertise what you should use and what tip size and all of that. There's really no point. What I will advise is that you get the technical data sheet, okay? The technical data sheet is going to be your friend. You should always have this readily available. I don't care if it's PPG, BASF, House of Colors, or whoever else. They will all have a technical data sheet on their products. Now, why is this important? It tells you flash and dry times. It tells you your gun setup. Not all of them tells you your gun setup. A lot of times they might refer to the manufacturer of the gun for the gun setup and pressures. But just go to your gun manufacturer and get the pressures and all of it. Well, not necessarily the setups, just the pressures, okay? Because depending on what you're doing, if you're going to do like a high build or you're going to do like a base, you're going to need a different tip. We'll get into that in a minute. But I have my technical data sheet for this product. It might also be given as an acronym TDS, okay? But look at all the information that's on this thing, okay? Just take a gander at that, all right? It will tell you everything that you need to know. There it is. So, this product is mixed 1-to-1. Most epoxies that I've come across, they're mixed 1-to-1. One part is the primer, the other part is the activator or hardener. Okay, so epoxies usually come in a hardener, right? This is also an epoxy. Well, I want to say it's an epoxy. It's a surface or sealer. You can use it like an epoxy because it can be applied directly to metal. Okay, epoxies normally you do one good coat, so that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I'm going to feel it out, but this is high build, so what that means is I got to use high build or a tip designed for high build. Now, if we go back to the sheet, it says 1 point, doesn't matter if it's conventional HVLP, it's 1.5 to 1.8, okay? The 1.5 leans more towards if you put a reducer. The 1.8 leans more towards if you are doing it high build. I'm doing high build. I have a 1.7, so that's what I'm using. If we see here, it says 1.7. So I have this set up already. I have my pressure gauge. My compressor already has the desiccant in it, so I don't have to worry about having dry air here. I have a high flow tip on it, and I have a pressure gauge that will tell me what the pressure is right here. Okay, so I also have the 3M PPS system on this gun. This is an Evolution by Eastwood. Now I don't work for the company. I just like their products. So if you notice here, I have House of Colors. I do not have Eastwood's paint. I know House of Colors. I'm also doing a candy, so I know that I normally don't want to put stuff under House of Color stuff. I just use their whole system. It's a good system. If you look at the reviews, it's good, right? So that's the gun. Now in this PPS system, I have my strainer already set up. This system normally has a cap with a strainer on it, and I don't like these because sometimes if you have like pearls or anything like that, it can get caught up in here and defeat the whole purpose of being a pearl. Okay, but for me, I'm straining it already, so I remove that. I have this all set up. I can't mix the paint yet because it has a window to apply, which is, I believe from the technical data sheet I read, is about 3 hours. Don't quote me, but that's it. This is a mixing cup. I have my mixing cup on hand. I have two, one for this and this, just in case this is not enough. This is mixed 1-to-1. That's mixed 4-to-1, which is why there's a difference in the can sizes. But this is mixed 1-to-1. If you don't know how this works, you would add part A to, like, let's say you want a full cup, add part A to this 6 and then you would add part B until it filled up to this 6, and that would be for a 1-to-1. Now for the big boy over here, it's 4-to-1. So you would go up to the 8, then you'd go up to this 8 with the hardener, and then the extra 1 is for the reducer. You go up to that 8. So that's for 1-to-1, but I just need to go to 4-to-1, so I'll go boom here and then here because I'm using this as a high build as well. Now both of these are direct to metal or direct to substrate. Okay, and the TDS will also tell you what substrates are appropriate for this. So, you know, in all the questions of, because I've been asked numerous times, can I do this over body filler? Do I have to put it under? Do I have to put it over? This will say everything that you're asking. Every company is going to be different. Their chemical composition are all different and most times proprietary. So it helps to go and reference this. I can't stress that enough. Okay, so next up, I have my sprayers. This is my degreaser. Okay, I labeled it as such. This is simply spray bottle from I think Home Depot or Lowe's, one of those two. And this is the prep all. So this is it basically cleans the metal, right? So after I apply this, I will wipe down everything with this. Okay, I have this in this sprayer. Now I also have the Afterblast in this sprayer. This sprayer is a different sprayer. It's a pump sprayer. I have it in this one because I want a fan pattern, right? So I'm going to use this to basically apply that everywhere, and then this is more like a jet, which is annoying, but it's what I got. I would have rathered 2 of those, but this will work too. I think that's all I got. So, oh, and of course, make sure to wear a mask. And I also, where is it? Here we go. This is my sock. Put it over your head. Now, this is important. Well, they're all important, but and also gloves. But epoxy is a different animal than regular primers. All of it is nasty when it gets into your lungs, but this is particularly nasty, and anywhere it goes, it's sticking. The adhesion properties of epoxy are very good. You do not want these in your lungs. Wear a mask, okay? Wear a good mask. And also, you want to also protect your ears, right? You want to protect your ears and preferably, your eyes. So I have all of that in place already. So I am good to go to get the car blasted. I'm excited. It's exciting times. Now, the only other thing I wanted to talk about is why am I doing the blasting now? Because I've kind of done a lot of work. I almost regret not doing it before, but it was a money thing. Just straightforward, to be honest with everybody. It was a money thing. I did not have the money to spend on sandblasting the car. I saved up, and now I'm getting the whole thing blasted so I can have a completely clean slate. The worst case scenario is that my car, the second I get it back, is going to flash rust. I am in a state, South Carolina, that is very humid. You only need about 70 to 80% humidity for rust to start occurring on bare metal. And because of the fact that we're like 80 to 100% humidity here, where it will rain and then 20 minutes later, the sun comes out, it's 95 degrees, and, humidity increases. So, or the moisture in the air increases. What am I going to do about that? Especially if I just had this guy come and right when he's leaving, I start to see rust. What do I do? I have a few options, and I'm going to tell you the options that I have and that you could potentially use, as well as what my actual plan is moving forward. Please comment below. Let me know what you guys do to prevent rust, or even if you have this concern. Because I know for me, if the second I do something that chemically treats a car, I almost instantly get rust. Let me know what your experiences are. Let's start off with what I normally use. I normally use vinegar water. Okay, I think this is pretty well known. For some people, they say it works, some it doesn't. For me, it's worked on cars anyway, and but it leaves a residue that looks like rust. So I'm not using this. I had this product. It was recommended by Barry at Joe Daddy's Garage. Great channel. I suggest you check it out. He has tons of videos and is tons more knowledgeable than me on any of these subjects of putting cars together. All right. But definitely a good product here. Doesn't leave a residue. It dissolves the rust. There is 3X Chemistry, which is the company that makes this. They also have a rust converter. That sucks. Don't get that. It sucks. This is a good product. I believe Speedway Motors is the only one that has it for sale. Like out of all the companies I've tried to find, like that sells it, they were the only ones. So I've used this. It works well. Another product that I use that works well is a Must for Rust by Crud Cutter. Great product. I love this product as well. Some of these things I use for tools and things like that. I guess the most extreme one I could talk about, of course, is like this one up there. That's muriatic acid. That stuff is nasty. It's nasty to deal with. You have to wear chemical gloves, like the big thick ones. You got to wear a respirator or do it outside. It's not very practical for all circumstances, especially when you have to use it in large quantities. So we're not going to use that. Fast Etch. Fast Etch is the cousin to Afterblast. This is a product by Eastwood that you would use on fresh metal, right? Fresh metal that's just been blasted. Nothing else. You don't have to prepare the car or the panel. You just got to put this on and wipe it off. Or, well, put it on and wipe. You don't necessarily even have to wipe much, but it helps because it has a lower viscosity and it will drip some. This is the cousin to that. This will leave a zinc phosphate coating, and zinc, it allows for protection on the car, so you can leave it in bare metal. Technically, after I put one of these two products, I don't have to epoxy it immediately. It actually can stay there for months that way. So if you have a project where you don't want to epoxy, you don't have the money for epoxy, you can put one of these products on and you can keep the car in bare metal. So great products. But this I like. I've used this a lot, mainly for my tools because I wanted to keep it in bare metal and also kill the rust. So I've used it on my tools. It works well. And it doesn't leave a residue. It doesn't leave this ridiculous residue. The residue is almost light grayish versus like something like this, which sucks. I don't recommend that because it leaves a ridiculous residue. Like it almost looks like this, except you can actually feel it. Almost feels like this, right? This composite board. So this works. I don't like the residue it leaves. And when you're talking about we're talking in terms of a car. Most people wouldn't be as finicky about residues when it comes to like little tools and stuff. But once you get it on a whole panel, you start to appreciate the lack of having to deal with a residue, right? Or a film that's left over. So just to recap, this leaves a film, that leaves a film, and that leaves a film. But all three work. Okay? So what I'm going to do, let's get there. I'm going to use this product, as I stated before. For all fresh metal that I don't need to worry about, I'm going to put this on first. Anything that starts to flash rust, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it and let it do its thing because I don't want to chase the rust. I don't want to try and treat the rust that's there and then other areas start to rust. Hopefully that makes sense. And once I'm done with the areas that are good, I'm going to go to here, to Fast Etch. I'm going to treat the areas that may have flash rusted with this product. If I run out of this product, then I will go to this product. Now, I doubt I'm going to run out of all three. And I doubt I'm going to need all three. And if I need all three, then I'm probably going to just start crying. Right? So, that is going to be my plan of action. And as I said, I'm going to use my blower, blow it off, push it into the garage, immediately start getting to work. Now, once I use these three products, now I'm avoiding this on purpose because you normally want to neutralize this with water. You don't want to do that on a freshly blasted car. You don't want any water anywhere near this product, anywhere near a freshly blasted car. So I'm trying to stay away from this. This, you wipe down, and then afterwards you use something like Pre. Let's talk about the cleaners that I'm going to use. I'm using Prep All and Pre. That's pretty much it. And that's all that they recommend, Eastwood recommends you use. Now, in total, I think this was like 13. This was like almost the same price, maybe a little less because it's in a quart size. And this was maybe $10. So, but I buy a big jug of Pre, and then I'm good. The backup cleaner is going to be acetone. So that is all my steps. Please let me know if you guys think that I'm missing anything or you have any additional suggestions. Now, keep in mind, I'm in South Carolina, in states where the humidity is far lower and it's a more dry state like Nevada. you're not going to have to worry so much about flash rust from a freshly blasted car. So please keep that in mind. All right. Thanks, guys. Please like and subscribe. Stay safe. Cheers.